It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to City Beat for this Thursday. My guest this morning is Councillor Colleen Smook. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Let's start off with the hard-hitting stuff. I think it's fair to say Mayor Fenskey's announcement at City Council on Monday evening shocked most people who normally attend City Council meetings. It's seemingly a 180 from what his outward position has been on the grant and lieu negotiations and his involvement with that from even the last council meeting. I spoke to Councillors Wong and Byer separately after, and they both said that it was probably the right thing for him to do. Do you agree with that?
If that's what Mayor Fenskey felt comfortable doing, I'm in agreement with it. I was a supporter of him being on there as being the mayor of Thompson. As in the past, let's say Tom Farrell was a mayor and he was also in negotiation committees. But if Mayor Fenskey felt that he was going to be a detriment to the process, then I respect his stand.
Were you shocked at all by his decision?
Yes, I was shocked by it because he had a fair bit of support to stay on the committee.
What does this mean for the negotiations going forward? Who from the city is going to take the lead from now on?
Well, we have Kathy Valentino from Finance and Penny Byer. So we're not sure at this point if they're going to add anybody else to the committee, but I'm very confident in the people that are on the committee.
It was also announced at Council that the province will be investing almost $80,000 in Thompson for local transit projects. That's $2,500 going to transit signage, $5,000 towards 2 different bus shelters, just under $40,000 for the purchase of a new bus, and just over $30,000 for the purchase of a HandiVan. How important are the investments?
These are very important. We're in the process, started last fall, of reevaluating our bus shelters and that, and there's a few that have damages to them. And with our harsh winters, we definitely need them up and running. The HandiVan has basically been down now for almost a year. It's a very integral part of our community, and this was great news to move forward with purchase of this. The transit signage, that's important also, so that people know where the buses are and for things like that. What else have we got? Under 40,000, we're looking at the purchase of a new bus, but that won't be till next year's budget. Putting a third bus into the fleet. So then, what happens right now is we have 2 buses. If one of ours is down for maintenance, then we end up renting a Greyhound bus for $800 a day.
So is there any knowledge at this point as to whether, when that new bus is purchased, whether we'll be adding a third one to go in at the same time as the other 2? Is it going to act as a reserve, or is there going to be a new bus route? Or
we're actually in the process. Matt and his crew have been meeting with Greyhound, and we've been discussing a reevaluation of the bus system in Thompson, because we have a few new areas. We've had a few areas that have requested bus service. We may have a few areas that bus service isn't as important anymore. So yeah, that's all part of an ongoing process.
What is it? You mentioned that the current HandiVan has been out of commission for a while. Is there anything sort of filling that gap, and how big of a demand is there for the service?
Basically, they've been working with the taxis. There's 2 taxis in town that are handicap equipped. They've been working with them, and also the vans that they use for the residential. But it does mean more waiting times. It does mean that they can't service the public as they can do. That you can't just phone and book ahead for a HandiVan.
And when will we see the new vehicles in the city fleet?
The new vehicles in the city fleet, basically, the couple half-tons have been ordered, actually we just okayed the tenders the other night, so they'll be ordered now, and it won't be too long.
Something else, as it's budget season coming up now, the city is scheduled to spend almost $12,000 on new software for the recreation department. Why is this important to spend this money? I know Deputy Mayor Valentino was very excited about this.
Yeah, not being as software savvy as some of them, I'm excited, but maybe not quite excited. Our software is all very outdated. When this new software comes on board, you'll be able to do your bookings, through online and that. And it is something the city has needed. We've had crashes and stuff, and everything gets outdated. And
as I just said, it's budget season. We just had the provincial budget earlier in this week, and the city budget is coming up soon. And I understand there's a public meeting next week with regards to that.
Yes, a public meeting, and it's at City Hall. I want to say April 20th, or is when it is. So we really, and at 7 o'clock, and we really encourage everybody to come out and be part of it. Even though the budget is done, you can still see where your money is going and what we're doing. And, you know, if it has to be any fine tuning, it's only had first reading. There could be some changes or tweaking.
Let's move ahead and talk about the weather. It seems that we just can't catch a break. We might even get more snow this weekend. What's the status of snow removal in the city? And I also understand there are a few totals for how much it costs.
Yeah, the status of snow is we have lots of it. There's still lots of banks. There's still a few sidewalks even not cleaned in the Nelson Road area and that. And I do encourage you to phone Public Works 677-7970 if you see any of these areas. The snow removal for just that big snow event, with what we had for contractors and just the overtime, is $183,000 basically put into snow removal for that. And snow removal's ongoing, but then there is money allocated for that over and above. So, and we have 2 pothole crews working full time. I think we could have 10 pothole crews working full time, but it's the 2 crews the city is doing. The guys in Public Works are doing a fantastic job on that.
And finally, it's the Easter long weekend starting tomorrow. What's open and what's not open when it comes to city services and buildings over the weekend?
Okay. Basically, everything will be closed tomorrow, Good Friday. It's that. When I've checked with the pool, they're open Easter Sunday and Saturday on weekend hours. City Hall will be open again Monday, and the rec center. Right now at the rec center, the ice is out, so there's really not much going on there, period. And I was notified this morning that our bus schedule is only running 1 bus today, so we're running Saturday schedule. We have that maintenance issue again for older buses. So 1 bus running today on a Saturday schedule, and the weekend will be the weekend schedules.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of City Beat. Thanks again to my guest, Councillor Colleen Smook.
Thank you very much.
If you have a question you'd like answered next week, email it in advance to CHTMnews@arcticradio.ca. For 1029 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.